So in this two-sum problem in the LeetCode, right, given an array of integers nums and an integer target, return the indexes of the two numbers such that they add up to target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. So you can return the answer in any order, and they gave us three different examples of three different arrays and the targets. So one thing we can think of is the brute force solution, whether we will check different element in the array, right? So we will have two pointers. We will check if A, right, combine with all the values in the array. So A plus B, right? A plus C, A plus D, and then B plus C, B plus D, and C plus D, right? So, because if we use this kind of approach, we will achieve the solution in the time complexity of O n squared, which is not efficient at all, right? So one thing we can think of to have a more optimal solution is to use a hash map in this case. Let me clean it up, right? So for the hash map solution, right, we use the hash map, right? So one thing is we will store two key value pairs. The first one is the value of the number in the arrays that we need to find so that it will add up, right? So for example, we have the target is 9 here, and the first number is 2. So in order to reach the target 9, we need to find a number equal to the target, right? Minus 2 in this case, or we can have that at I, right? So this is the number, right, we need to find, right? So we will store this number to find inside the hash map, right? So for example, in this case, we have 2 here, and then we need to find 7, which is equal to 9 minus 2 equal to 7, and then we put a 7 in here along with the index. We have index 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So we need to store the index of the current value that we just see. So here is the index of 2 is 0, right? Then we store this value here, and this is the value we need to find, right? So then we move to the next value, which is 7. So in this case, luckily we found the value that we need to find at the index here is 1. So in this case, it's reached the correct value. So we will return, right, the indexes of these two numbers. The first one is the index of 2, right? And then we return the index of 7 here, which is 1, and the index of value 2 is 0. So as you can see, in this solution, we will potentially only have to check the whole array once, or using only one pass. So this kind of solution is way more optimal compared to the brute force solution that we just discussed previously. So that is one way that we can use to improve the solution. And in the next part, I will show you how to use this in code. Okay, so now we will implement the code from the solution that we just discussed, right? So first we will have a hash map here. Is the number map, right? So the next thing is we need to iterate the array. So we have a for loop, right? Let I equal to 0. So I less than nums dot length, right? And then we're increasing I. Okay. So the next thing is we need to have a value to store the current value that we're checking. So current value, right, would be equal to the nums per map, right, at the value of nums I, right? So next thing is we will check if there's actually the numbers in the hash map, right? If this current value exists in the hash map, which is basically the number we need to find, right? So we have an if, right? Here current value, right? If it's greater than or equal to 0, right? Then we will return the indexes of these two numbers, right? The first one is the current value, and the second one is the I, right? So if it's not greater or equal to 0, so in this case, basically it's not exist in the number maps, right? So what we do is we need to go for the numbers that we need to find. So const number to find, right? So this will be equal to the target value minus 2 the values at the current index, right? And then we will store the values, which is the index I here, right? So we have number map here, and then number to find, right? This would be equal to I, right? So now we store the key value pair in the hash map, all right? So if we iterate the whole array and we cannot find a combination that add up to the target value, so this means it's not exists, so we'll return no, right? So this is our first solution. Let me run it, right? So we submit it, right? So what we can see here, the temp complexity of the solution is of n. As we discussed, it's only in the worst case, it will check the whole array, right? Similar for space complexity, this would be on as well. The reason is we will potentially store the whole array, if not almost the whole array or the whole array in the number map, right? Hash map. So it could be on. So that's it for the solution of this two-sum problem. I'll see you in the next one.